All right. So welcome to our team call. Tonight is Sunday night. We have a treat for you guys. We're going to be talking with Kim Dinger tonight, and I hope I'm saying your name right, Kim.
You did. Good job.
Awesome. So Kim is a diamond coach. I'm not sure how long you've been coaching, but maybe you can just tell us your story when I hand it over to you a little bit, how you got started, how long you've been coaching, that whole thing. But you have been blogging for 15 years, which is pretty amazing. So really excited to hear about how you got into that and how you can use your blogging to kind of expand your network and help reach more people through your blogging. You've written 3 books, which is pretty awesome. You have a marketing degree. You live in Minnesota with your husband and 2 kids. So at this point, I am really excited to pass over the torch and hand things over to Kim. So, and then we'll have question and answer at the end. So if you guys can just hold on to your questions until the very end, write those down so that you don't forget what your question is when we get to the end. So, all right. Thanks, Kim.
Okay. Well, no, thank you for that great introduction. And I'll just explain a little bit about my background because honestly, I've been in social media for 15 years, digital media, whatever you want to call it, because 15 years ago, the term blogging didn't even exist. So I started a website as a new stay-at-home mom. It was called Mommy Savers. And the reason why I started that website is because I was really passionate about being a stay-at-home mom. I wanted to find a way to quit my full-time job and stay at home with my daughter because it made me sick to hand her over to daycare, which, I see a lot of coaches that have that same goal. They want to leave the workplace. They want to stay home with their kids. And I can totally relate to that because that's why I started my first blog. And about 6 months into that, I had finally created enough of a revenue stream that I could leave my part-time job and concentrate on blogging full-time. So that's kind of backtracking. This was back in the year 2000. So fast forward to 2005. Oh, I'm getting some feedback here.
Okay, you guys need to mute your audio, please. Otherwise, we're going to get some interruptions here.
Okay. So in 2005, I was contacted to write a book, which is really cool. I'd been blogging for 5 years, and a publisher reached out to me saying they wanted to turn my blog into a book. And that was really cool for me. It was pivotal in my career because with that, I was asked to do a lot of TV spots. I did media tours. I got some really cool sponsorships with brands like Tide, Uniroyal Tires, TJ Maxx, things like that. They wanted me to basically be their brand ambassador. So I did that. I wrote 2 more books after that. So I'm trying to lead up to the point where I joined Beachbody. I loved my job when I was in the thick of things. I love clipping coupons. I love going to garage sales. I love doing that as a young stay-at-home mom. But fast forward 10 years, that just wasn't me anymore. I'd really lost a lot of passion for what I was doing. I couldn't relate to the garage sale things because my kids didn't want that type of clothing anymore. I didn't have time to clip coupons. It just wasn't me. It was me at one time, but I had really grown out of my job. And, for me, I'm very self-motivated, but if I'm not passionate about what I'm doing, it's just hard for me to get up in the morning and be excited about it. So I kind of done a lot of fitness. I'd done 5Ks. I was working out at the gym, and I had a friend tell me about Beachbody. I had never heard of it. I'd never done a challenge group, but he kind of said, you know what, you're so great at social media and blogging, and that's what a lot of these coaches are doing. Why don't you become a Beachbody coach? So I thought, oh, well, I really don't have anything to lose by trying this. And this was last year. So I've been coaching just over a year. I think towards the end of March of 2014, I signed up. And, I honestly, going into it, my goal was to become a fitness blogger. And I was a blogger first and Beachbody second. My husband was really skeptical. He had faith in me as a fitness blogger, but MLMs, he was like, no way. You're not going to post anything on Facebook. You're not going to have any home parties. That was his vision of what an MLM was. You don't want to spam your friends. You don't want to be that person. And I totally agreed with him. I didn't want to do that either. Sorry, Marcia, I'm just looking at your background. Okay, so my agreement with him is that I was going to do everything via social media. I wouldn't post anything on my personal Facebook page. So I created a blog called Beach Ready Now, and oh, he's so funny. Beachbody was just one of the ways.
I didn't know he was doing that. I'm sorry.
It's so funny. You're probably wondering why I'm cracking up. You'll see it in playback. I've got 2 kids too, so I totally get it. So anyway, I think of myself as a blogger first, and I think that's kind of what sets me apart from other Beachbody coaches. You have to ask yourself too, if Beachbody were to go out of business tomorrow, what would you do? Are you still a brand that can sustain itself? This was really something that was important to me because having spent 15 years in social media, I know that companies fold, social media platforms go under. I mean, think of MySpace. I mean, I know so many people that kind of built their social media empires on a Facebook like page. That algorithm changed in December 2013. MySpace is like a ghost town these days. So you can't build your castle in the sand, or, I guess like just, you have to have something to call your own. And for me, a blog is the foundation for that. So I guess my main point is, don't think of yourself as a Beachbody coach first. Think of your brand first. Who are you? And there are 200,000 Beachbody coaches out there. What makes you different? Why would anyone want to have you as a coach as opposed to any of the other thousands of coaches out there? What's your value proposition? So, okay, I talked a little bit about adjusting your mindset to that of a blogger rather than that of a Beachbody coach. Also, your blog is the foundation for everything that you do. I use social media daily, all the time, but I don't rely on it. It's a tool. The blog is the foundation for everything. That's what you have sole control over. That's your brand. But, I mean, I use Pinterest and Facebook to support my blog, not the other way around. So I guess my point with that is the blog is the foundation for everything, and everything must point back to your blog if it's to be sustainable in social media. I mean, I don't know what platforms you guys are using for social media right now, but Facebook changes its algorithm all the time. Pinterest is changing all the time. I'm not sure what else you guys are into. Instagram, they're going to start charging, I'm sure, at some point. So please do not rely on any of the, don't put all your eggs in one basket. It's good to have at least 2 or 3 social media platforms that you're using, but if you don't have a blog, you really have nothing to call your own. Okay, there are hundreds of social media platforms out there. How do you choose the ones that are right for you? What I would really want to reinforce is when you start blogging, you have to go with your own unique voice. And I don't like to think of it as niche marketing, but I think of it as attraction marketing. What are the things about you that motivate you, that prompt you to get up in the morning, that you're excited to do, that you just can't wait to share with other people? That's your niche. You are your niche. If you are true to yourself and passionate about what you love, you're going to attract like-minded people. I mean, for me, one of my main messages is the fact that I'm 44, and I remember turning 40 and thinking, oh my gosh, I don't want to be one of these frumpy moms that kind of just mails it in and says, okay, I'm over 40, I've had 2 kids, I'm going to hang it up, and I don't care what I look like anymore. No, I wanted to fight aging every step of the way. Like, that was my thing. And I wanted to be an inspiration to other women over 40, just to be the voice of, hey, you can still have a vibrant life out there. You can look good. This is awesome. So for me, helping women over 40 is great. I have tons of challengers that are in their 20s. That doesn't mean I exclude them, but that's part of my message. So even though you're going with the things that you're passionate about, you're still going to attract other people. It doesn't mean that you're excluding them. It's just who you are. So, okay, a couple of other things I really like. I love personal development, which is one of the reasons why I love Beachbody. But I have all my challengers do personal development. I'm kind of a nut about it. I don't have time to read, but I listen to podcasts and watch YouTube videos, Netflix documentaries, like all the time. So I incorporate those into my challenge groups, and I talk about it a lot. Like in my groups, and I will say I use groups. I don't use like pages. I think like pages are dead, and I will go into more. I'm doing a blogger boot camp in July for my downline and anyone else that wants to join. And I always tell people I really don't know why people stress the like page, because it's dead. Facebook changed their algorithm in 2013. It used to be a free ride. I built Mommy Savers has over 100,000 likes. I'm lucky if I get like 2,000 people seeing my posts. That would be on a good day. But my groups, everyone sees that. As of now, I mean, Facebook could change that algorithm too, but groups will show up in your newsfeed where like pages won't. So I'm kind of digressing a little bit with that. But that's just something that I teach people, is to use like pages. So my two social media platforms that I utilize the most are Facebook groups and Pinterest. And it's because that's where my peeps hang out. That's where the women over 40, the people like me are. I mean, it would be silly for me to go to Twitter, because I don't know anyone on Twitter. I mean, I do, but they're not the people that I want to attract. So you have to ask yourself where your niche market is. And again, I don't really like that term niche market, but where are the people like you hanging out? Where are you most comfortable on social media? It might be Instagram. It might be Snapchat. I don't know. That really depends on who you are and who you're trying to attract. So with that, don't try to be all things to all people. I love the Howard Stern analogy. I mean, Howard Stern is hugely popular. I mean, oh my gosh, he has like, I don't know how many million followers on Facebook and Twitter and all that, but he offends so many people all the time. So you don't have to make everyone happy. You just have to be yourself. And if you're going to weed out some people along the way, that's great, because you're getting closer to the people who really like you, for who you are. So don't try to be all things to all people. You're going to offend people. In fact, if you don't rock the boat once in a while, you're probably not being true to yourself. Don't try to be nicey all the time. Don't try to be everything to everyone. Be yourself, the good, bad, and the ugly. People love to hear your flaws. So if you're talking about your flaws and ask for help on social media, you're going to get way more likes and comments than if you try to pretend like your life is perfect, because nobody really wants to hear that. So, okay, the next thing I wanted to talk about, while it's important to develop your unique blogging voice and being who you are, it's also equally important, if not more important, to listen to your clients and your challengers. You want to hear what they're struggling with, what they're facing, what issues can you help them with. And one of the things that I do, besides my Facebook groups, which they're a great place to start a dialogue and a conversation, but I use the Wufoo forms that I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with. When I have people sign up for a challenge group, I have them fill out a series of questions. And one of those questions is, what are the things are you struggling with? What are the things that you really need help with? So that is my key. That it's almost like free market analysis. It's like a little mini focus group. That nugget of information is priceless. So I'm going to do 10 blog posts about someone said this, that, and that. That's what they're struggling with. And wait, this person said the same exact thing. Well, that's what you write about. So it's not just writing about what you're passionate about. It's writing about the problems that people face and how you would help them. I mean, you're there to help them and support them as a coach. So those little nuggets that you get along the way, whether it's through an Instagram post, a Snapchat, on Twitter, whatever social media platforms you're using, you always want to create a two-way conversation. It's not just you spewing information. It's a two-way dialogue. And if you're not doing that, you're really missing out. Another thing that people do so terribly wrong, and it makes me cringe, is when their blogs and their social media look like a walking billboard for Beachbody. And we all love Beachbody products. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I love them too. But if every post that I'm doing is about Shakeology or 21 Day Fix, people are going to think I'm out to sell, and I'm not. I'm out to help them. I want to help them in the most genuine way that I can. And maybe 9 out of 10 will be completely me, completely my own personal brand. Maybe the 10th one, maybe 10% I mentioned Beachbody. That way you're not going to come across as being spammy and salesy, and you come across as being more genuine. People will run the other direction if they think that your sole motivation is
okay, bud?
So I guess that's my main advice there. Just please
have a drink.
Spam everybody with your news feed. And I'm not sure how many of you are bloggers, but hopefully if you get one thing out of this call, it's that you need a blog, and you shouldn't have it be all Beachbody. There's so many other ways that I monetize my blogs too. I use affiliate marketing. I use Google AdSense and other ad networks. I use sponsored posts. Like I mentioned before, if Beachbody were to go away, I still need to have a personal brand out there as a fitness blogger. That'll be something else that I cover in my blogging bootcamp, are other additional ways to monetize your blog, because when you're not having to rely solely on Beachbody for that revenue stream, it kind of frees you up to be a little bit more of who you are, and you're coming from a more genuine place. I mean, I would say about half of my income comes from my ad revenue. So if I know that I'm going to make money simply by blogging about the things that I like to do, I'm going to want to do that more. I mean, I think too many coaches are motivated by money and making the sale and rank advancement and Success Club points, that they really push that. So I encourage you to have other revenue streams, other ways to make money outside of Beachbody, so that you don't come across that way. It makes you more genuine in your efforts and your social media brand. And also make sure that you're using your blog as a marketing funnel. Okay, so you've got all these people coming in through social media. They find you on Pinterest, on Facebook, wherever. Once they get to your blog, how are you going to convert that view to a client? How are you going to convert that client to a challenge pack sale? And then beyond that, how are you going to turn those people into coaches? So you need to really think your marketing funnel through here. And for me, I use the VC to pop up, which I'm sure a lot of you have heard of already. I have a newsletter sign up on my blog too. So I'm really trying to capture every person that visits my blog in one way or another. Every blog post, I try to suggest related posts that they might be interested in. I try to link to my other social channels, whether it's Instagram or Pinterest or a Facebook group. I want to keep them there as long as I can. I want to get my bounce rate down. So you want to, a bounce rate, I don't know if you guys know that, but it's the amount of time someone spends on your site before leaving. So if your bounce rate is below like 50%, you want to get it down so that people are actually spending time on your blog. Let's see. What else I want to talk about here? I think Marcia had wanted to talk about how I convert my blog traffic into Success Club points. And for me, it's all about building relationship. There are so many great books out there on return on relationship. Ted Rubin is a really great guy that I follow. He's got a hashtag ROR, return on relationship, and it's all about social media marketing. And it's not about advertising and marketing anymore. The new marketing, the new digital media is all about building relationships. So if you don't know your challengers personally, why not? Why are you not spending the time to get to know them? That's what it's all about. And I've made friends. I feel like I get up in the morning and my challengers are my friends. My coaches are my friends. And it's really cool and rewarding. I love what I do, and I'm sure you guys do too, but if you're not really working on developing relationships and providing value for your blog visitors and your challengers and your social media readers, you're really missing out. And, I can help you do that. I've got a lot of valuable information on my Beach Ready Now site. I've got another blog out there called Echo Valley Media. When I used to do social media consulting, I'd put some stuff out there that would, help you set up a blog, find your unique blogging voice, and just kind of give you some blogging 101 tips. So roundabout way to answer that question, relationships are what you need to develop before you make the sale. If people don't trust you, they aren't going to want to buy from you. So that's the number one thing. I don't really use scripts when I answer the WooFoo form or the VC to pop up. I have a set of scripts that I can pull from, like if I need to copy and paste a link to a challenge pack. But if I'm not addressing the real issues that they talk to me about, I am coming across as being like I don't care. And for me, that's really important to show them that I care, that I want to help them, that we connect on some level. And even if I can't sell them a challenge pack, I want to help them in some way. So I've got groups, I've got Pinterest boards, I've got blog links that I can show them. Sales, I don't think of it that way. I think of it as helping people. And if they don't buy a challenge pack, that's fine. I still have a dozen other ways that I can help them. And maybe they'll come back to me. Maybe they'll remember that and say, hey, Kim really helped me out that one time. I'm going to go back to her because she had mentioned a challenge group and maybe I couldn't afford it then, but I can now. So for me, it's all about relationship. And I guess that's it. Like I had mentioned, I'm just going to wrap up with this. For me, it was all about building the blog the first year of doing what I did. I had never even been in a Beachbody challenge group before I started this. I'd never done a Beachbody program. So I really felt like I needed to get my feet wet with the whole Beachbody thing before I could mentor others. And now I'm kind of shifting gears. I have no problem with getting challengers to join my challenge groups. They're full like almost all the time, which I love, but now I want to really focus on building my team and teaching other people to do that. So I do have a webinar coming up. If you want more information about that, it's on my Beach Ready Now site. I'll be doing kind of like a mini challenge group for bloggers. So every day there'll be like an assignment for 30 days. I've got over 70,000 people on my Pinterest board. So one of the things you'll get if you sign up is I'll include you in one of my Pinterest community boards because Pinterest is one of the it's my number one referral source as far as social media goes. I don't really use my Facebook wall or Facebook like pages a whole lot. Pinterest is where it's at. So I'll be talking a lot about Pinterest. I'll be talking about a lot of the things I mentioned tonight and just giving you more specifics about what I do when it comes to using a blog to develop your brand. So I guess that's it. I guess I'll open it up to questions now if you guys have any.
Hey, Kim, I have a quick question for you. Where do you suggest, like, even starting? I think just the thought of building a website and a blog is just like so overwhelming for someone that is like really not experienced in that. Like, do you think there's what's your best way to kind of start that?
Okay, well, I do recommend WordPress. I've been doing blogging, like I said, for 15 years, and almost everyone that I talk to that is a professional level blogger uses WordPress. I mean, I know that there's some free blogs out there that are a lot easier for entry-level bloggers, but if you really want to take it seriously, you need to go through WordPress. I can message me after the call, and I'll give you a link to how to set up a WordPress blog. I've done a post on that. It's
okay.
Going to take you step on how to get it started. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay. Zoe Klein says, do you use an email service okay, I'm not seeing the rest of that question, but I use FeedBlitz for my newsletter service. You do have to pay to use it, but I've got multiple blogs, so I kind of get a group discount with that. I know that FeedBurner was another one, but I don't think that that is anything that I would go with because I think Google kind of shut that down. Constant Contact is another one, but it's really expensive. I think for the money, FeedBlitz is probably a lot better than like MailChimp or Constant Contact.
Does the Visita pop-up work the same as like Lead Pages? Is that the same thing?
I'm not familiar with Lead Pages. Can you tell me what that is?
It's a service that allows you to create lead boxes or lead pages, which are like landing pages where people can opt in or like enter information like an email address, name, or mailing address, things like that.
Okay, well what Visita does, it's a pop-up and mine just says, hi, I'm Kim, I'm a Beachbody coach, yada, yada, yada. I do like 21-day fix challenge groups. Contact me with any, questions or if you'd like to join my challenge group. So I have like dozens of people filling out this form every day and they'll tell me a little bit about themselves and I just email them back. I'm not quite sure what landing pages, like what you're talking about, but I create custom landing pages on my blog according to my categories that I use. So it sounds like what you're talking about is a little bit different than that. But in like another service that you can use, if you do go with an email service, you can create different mailing lists according to interests. Like you can set up a different mailing list for anyone that's interested in recipes or fitness tips or whatever, and you can differentiate them that way. I know that FeedBlitz allows you to do that. I'm sure other services do as well.
Do the responses you get through the Visita pop-up come to your personal email address?
Yeah, you can designate whichever email you want them to go to.
Okay.
So I have a separate email for that, just so I don't have to have, it's just easier.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Well, thank you so much, Kim. I don't know about any of you guys, but I took a ton of notes. So this was really helpful. I have the recording, so I'll be sharing that with anyone who wasn't able to make the call, or if you want to listen to it again. I think I'm going to need to listen to it a couple times. So thank you so much for sharing your tips with us tonight. Jumping on. Does anyone else have any last burning questions for Kim before we close it down tonight?
Come on, go home.
All right, so thanks, guys. Let's have an awesome week. Thanks so much for jumping on.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, Kim. We care a little bit.